Okay, bless everyone and welcome to our next VGA tutorial. Um, so we're talking about VGA floating toolbar. So at VGA, I create a lot of stuff, and one of the things I created is like movable objects using HTML5 and Java to accomplish this. To give a simulation, I like when you want even your desktop and your computer and you're moving stuff around and you close out a window and then you know where that window is and you can go and find it. So this has been run from my VGA desktop version folder, right? So we have like a dialog box, of course, that's here, and we have a window that was created, right? But there is more in the program. If I like run the program, which in the end I will run the program, that we did not connect with other stuff that was in it. So we can like close out the dialog box because we just wanted to work with the window or whatever application was displayed in this window. Or you need to have back the dialog box because, and you know what is a dialog box? For instance, if you close it here, open it, it opens back there. Remember, you close it here, it opens back there. So the program remember the position where the window was prior to you really closing it, right? And that's a thing. So I'll refresh to show you two more bigger things. So like in real world, like okay, so then that's what I said. I said if depends on what type of application that you may have inside of the drawer while the window try to load or do its little thing, right? Okay, so we have other things happening and we just went through that and this is loading, so we don't need to really look at that for the moment. So we're gonna really like now show you another way you can use it in a real world application, right? And you notice I closed out and a certain amount of the window went away, except for this one, and we're doing different functions. We having this, we'll be able to close out, but on the beginning of the program, it'll open up, but it won't close until you close it out, right? Okay, so, that's cool, right? So we'll close that master window. So now, if we really wanted like to add, so we're talking about using the same function in real world programming, and saying this was a mixer board, and you needed to load a channel or take away a channel, so loading or giving you a channel, right? This script will be soon available at VG Lab, so other users can use it to interact with it, and maybe they're creating some from a program and they can use it. And you can definitely go ahead and do a bus channel and add back that, right? And you can close out the bus channel because you didn't want the bus channel. For instance, close the master, you didn't want the master, and close that recording channel that you didn't want, open back the channel that you want, open back that, and open that. That's using another real world application, right? And so that is the add and, you know, head function, right, from VGA. So we'll be on, and if you go to GitHub and you look at a lot of my programming, it has these functions in it. Okay. So we went back to talk about, let's close this window right here and move the bar up here and we'll, oh, okay. Anyway, so we're here. So just the way that I did it, and I put in one of the window an actual editor. And if I ask a preview, step down here, it's in the preview step there. So cool. We can go ahead and close this out. And close this out. And close this out. So that's another way it was using a real world application. Just dragging, no, this is just dragging stuff around now. Okay, so we're gonna get something about Dragon stuff. So back in the early days, when I was doing HTML5, and I thought about a lot of ways to do stuff, mask stuff. So another way that I did to mask stuff was like, okay, this I'm gonna load HTML5 generator here, and you see it loads on top of this, right? And it is movable, right? Out of space, right? And the one behind it is also movable, right? Cool. And you can do that, right? And so it opens back there, right? Or here above the program. Okay, so this side right here, we got another guy. Cool. See. So the nicest thing about this, the page is stretched, so we can start moving stuff around, you know, so we can like get the page back together. Is anything there? I don't know if we have anything there on that side. No, I think the page we just actually moving stuff around, right? So we're actually moving this guy here, and we'll drag this over back on. We'll drag this over back, and we'll drag this over. We can go ahead and oops. So this guy right there, and we are configuring stuff, you know, all over the place. You know, check this. We got this guy still there, right? Okay, and you can drop this guy all the way down to the bottom, and so you know, so you can definitely just set up your workboard. So I'll confess something to you guys. Now, along the way of developing things, I seem to lose a lot of style that I was working with, like doing this, right? Like, it's like a big artboard, and you can just open the modules, them there, and then you can just have them all, and you can scroll through your page and say, okay, I know I have my stuff on the top here, so I'm gonna work on this on the top. Scrolling on the bottom, I'm gonna work on my template thing. I'm gonna work on my HTML5 player, or I'm gonna work on my list player. And if you had other stuff was there. So that's the way you can use real world applications. You know what I mean? And this is a HTML5. I think this works. Pretty much, I think so. Right? Okay. And hey, let's go look for something that maybe let it work. Yeah. We can grab this right here. So this is like a newer version. And while we're in this tutorial so far, we should show you some other examples that exhibit stuff that you know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna just basically insert a video player, right? And we're gonna just grab this guy right here, and we're gonna roll down because we're gonna say give us a preview of this player we just did. All right? So this program was created back down in like early 2000, but it still works even though it's offline, right? Because I brought it up to look at some of the stuff that I was doing like this and all the, you know, versus to what we may do to the new program then, right? So thanks a lot for looking at VGA head and show functions and drag around functions. Interestedly, that's how we have these functions here happening inside it, the bigger guy, and when we want to get this guy here, we can do this and that kind of stuff. But if we are on the line there and we're talking, we made it in different ways, right? So you can get to different modules, right? Okay, and wow, the other day we showed you guys this, and this is a bigger version of it, right? And that's a template board, and especially on the real big audio, this thing makes like, whoa, MP3 buttons, bar player, player on the top. You know what I mean? It makes just so much different types of audio players that I had plugged into this, right? And you could tell, it shows you here, you know, a bar player with link, MP3 player, a top player, insert a style sheet that I have there. You know what I mean? Down here, set the transparency of the bar player. Insert your bar player. Insert a page player. Insert a MP3 link. Insert a top player. So all those are players, right? And I feel we talk about designing, and when you design along the way, a lot of stuff. This one here embodies a lot of stuff, along with having an HTML5. Okay, that's audio, right? An HTML5 editor that is here. That's still kind of funky. I still need to get worked upon as I was changing the program backwards, right? Okay, so we can talk about stuff. This is the version of it that we showed you guys, right? We just click on the stuff and it goes in there. And this is one we just showed you a few minutes ago, rearranging. Look at the way I rearrange this one, like really neat, right? So there was something I wanted to show you guys before I really jumped out. There was some other new function that was left out in the HTML5 development that I think should really come back, right? One of them for real was this. And if I went here and said new it suddenly appear here, right? Or MO. And if I wanted to change the color, you know, and that stuff, right? It's what's happening there. So it's offline now. You know, when I'm online and I press save, it'll always load it for me here. But we saw the offline, right? So it's not doing that right now. So, but that is something I think, you know what I mean? And I will show you guys another thing too. So you see, the idea also of that is to use, so we have a new thing that I'm thinking about doing now, where we're gonna do this in this demonstration.
In 2166.
Okay, so now we have this, and this is showing this picture. So the new development that I thought about now is to combine these two states together. So when you click on here, it'll actually bring a picture here, and then it'll allow us to put title on top of it, right? And the title will then be saved and downloaded, right? So that's some of the functions that need to come back. This one online, yes, it does work. This does work online. The one online, you click on it, it will save the picture and with the text and everything. Okay. Other function that was left out of VG, but wasn't really left out of the program, because this one was being created for the mere fact that someone had a housing and they are using at the same time the HTML5. It was to give them an easy way to grab audio, grab video, and grab image. So in this portion, I waited for the last to show you guys and to give you a look up on some PHP coding, okay, from VGA Lab. Okay, let's just jump over to the code. So right here, will take time, and I'm using a div, okay, and I'm using basically a Java scroll, what you call, not really a Java, but a CSS scroll. Anyways, some code I have from a long time ago, I will have around the place. So this is how we scroll through the stuff in the box. This is the box. And this is my code, right? So I started my code here, because I'm going to teach you now. And we did $, right, for the domain. And what this does, it looks to the server and capture the domain name. Okay, so that's why it said domain name, and it's money sign server HTTP host. Okay, we did another statement, money sign directory. dir for the directory. So we can use it and to say if and is the directory, and if the DH, right? Open the directory again, right? So I'm saying, and while the file name equals to reading the directory, I'm reading the DH, you understand? Equal to false. And if the file name is equal to 0, again, all right, and equal to 0, right? You see? Then what I do now, I start my function by saying the div class is image. Okay? All right. Then I did my image statement here. And I told the program to use the same domain, that money sign domain. The directory where it was, I could have wrote the directory, but I was having a problem today, so I just went around it. And I asked for a specific file name, which is JPEG. And finish up the statement here by even echoing the file name for the purpose I wanted to echo the name of the file there. And I created now the HTML5 audio portion of it by saying now audio, start the audio statement to screen, and actually calling the address by asking for the domain name, right? Asking for the folder, and the folder where that is, okay? And the file name, right? Okay. I went down further and I set another statement to call an input statement, and now we're using a form control, which is a bootstrap form control, right? And we set the size and the value. And as we set the size and the value, we then call onto this function again to the domain name and the file name again, and on-click, select all of this, right? And that only means right here to echo the delete, echo the space, this is a spacer if you got you guys, and also an anchor to anchor the delete and the file name. That gives you the portion to delete the file. So let's go back here. So now, what I just explained it to you guys was the fact that this was the box where we set up with a div. Okay, these are the files that are being called, and you know I'm calling file names. So this was a Richard Spice Black Woman we'd have in that back in the days in video, and it calls it, right? And there is an image here, and it calls it in the image. And there is a audio here, so it calls an audio. Right? So, thanks a lot for viewing VGA Digital Lab here down in Kingston, Jamaica.
In 2166, an immortal
Right.
tyrant named Vandal Savage conquered the world and murdered my wife.
And seeing the different development that we perform and the different tools that we are doing in that area. Thanks a lot.